stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 2, we will call to order the April 6, 2023 Village Board meeting. Number 3, roll call shows all village board members are present, officials and staff are present, and our attorney, Allie, is excused. 4, agenda changes. Are there any? Okay. 5, consent agenda. A, March 16, 2023, regular board meeting minutes. B, licenses and permits. C, presentation of accounts and other claims against the village. If there are no questions, I would need a motion to accept.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Aye.
Abstain, I wasn't here March 16th.
Aye.
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 Motion carried. 6, pre-registered citizens to be heard.
There are no one.
Okay. 7, committee reports. A, library board. Pat?
At the library board meeting, we approved updates on circulation, materials and weeding, and volunteer policies. Allie updated us on all the programs that are running. I would encourage everybody to check out the April calendar. There's opportunities for all ages. Friends of the Hortonville Library had a bake sale during the election on Tuesday. We are raffling off the window. I don't know if any of you saw it. It's from the Opera House, an original window, and painted by one of the Friends members. We're going to be selling raffle tickets, $5 each, or 3 for $10. We voted to support, help out with the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program, and we are accepting donations for the recreational summer rec program. I think we already have 3 kids sponsored. So we're accepting donations, and then we'll accept applications from people interested in applying for scholarships.
Any questions for Pat? Okay, we'll move to B, Public Works Committee. Jack?
We had a meeting March 30th. Aaron brought forward potential street projects, purchase of a brush chipper, and old equipment for potential sale. 2 of them are on our agenda tonight.
Okay, we will move to 8, unfinished business from previous meetings, and there is none. 9, new business. A, presentation from the American Legion.
Stand up here, if that's all right.
Sure.
My name is Paul Waite. I'm here representing the Sons of the American Legion and Legion Post 55 of Hortonville. Before I get started too far, I'd like to thank Nathan and the board for this time to share with you what is a very exciting project. Just some real quick history. American Legion began in 1919 after World War I to support veterans coming home from war. The Hortonville Post formed very shortly thereafter, in 1924. So the Legion just had its 99th birthday party in March. So next year it'll be centennial. Big deal. So the Hortonville American Legion Post currently has 142 members in the Legion. The auxiliary has 63 members, and there's 30 members of the Sons of American Legion. The Post is quite active in the community. These are some of the things that the Post regularly does, the members of the Legion. So they provide flags and grave markers at 8 different cemeteries. I was surprised by that. Military honor services for deceased veterans, send care packages to overseas troops, deliver Christmas baskets to shut-ins and needy people. Other things, present Memorial Day programs in the schools. I don't know how many they do, 4 I think, 4 or 5. Sponsor 4 high school students for Badger Boys and Badger Girls State. sponsor students for County Youth Government Day, provide high school scholarships for continuing education, and of course, Legion baseball team and youth sports ball team. And there's many, many more things. Those are the highlights. Back one.
Back one.
Oh, no, I guess you're good. Thanks, sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened on my PowerPoint here, but,
Might have been on the conversion board.
yeah, on the conversions, there's something funny there. So anyway, you probably have seen the sign, that, the Legion is embarking on a very big project, a building project to build a permanent home. They've been working on this since 2021. The goal is to build a permanent home, and we'll get into what that looks like in just a minute. The Legion has purchased a 3-acre parcel on Main Street, and what you can't read on there is it's between Otter Creek Dental and Schmidt's Auto on the south side of Highway 15. So this is our mission and vision statement for what we're calling the Hortonville American Legion Community Center project. That is the name we settled on for this endeavor. Our mission is to construct a multi-use building to serve all members of Hortonville and the surrounding Fox Valley communities, with the American Legion Post 55 as the owner, operator, and central occupant of the facility. So it's more than just a clubhouse for the Legion. Our vision is to build a welcome gathering place for community events, meetings, programs, and activities that enrich the lives of veterans, families, and all citizens of Hortonville and the Fox Valley. So it's inclusive of any groups that want to use the building. So we took a look at who this building might serve. Obviously, first and foremost would be the Legion Post members, but then also veterans in Hortonville and the Fox Valley, as well as other organized community groups, clubs, senior citizens, students, just really everybody, anybody who wants to meet there. We want to make a true community center. Yeah. No, you're good. So what does this bring to Hortonville? As I wrote there, the broader community benefit, any community groups that want to utilize the space for their functions, to meet, and what is said on the last slide, weddings, celebrations, events, meetings, business meetings, any of those things. Businesses will benefit because more people will come to Hortonville as a result of this new community center. And it'll make the village of Hortonville a better place to live, work, and visit. Skip ahead here again. So our operational intent, again, it'll be an open venue, open as a venue for community functions. The Legion has no intention to open this as a restaurant, to compete with other restaurants. It's not Friday Night Fish Fry. That's not what we want to do. We will operate a bar, but that will only be open during planned functions. It won't be open as a bar. You can't just stop in if there's not an event, planned a community event there. All right, now the part you probably really want to know more about. So we've been working with a building company, Bayland Building, and Nick is here, Nick Van Lanen's here for support tonight. We appreciate that. The proposed site plan, we want to put a 60 by 100 foot commercial facility on there. You can see the white is obviously the building. The lower white piece there is a patio area, and then quite a large parking lot. Capacity of 299 with 115 parking spaces. That's what we've mapped out there, and that's kind of how we have it arranged right now on the site. Not going. just work off of mine then. So the building features, I've got a schematic of what's in this building. The exterior is, oh, there you go. All right, so building features, the exterior is split face brick, smartboard siding, asphalt shingles. We've talked about maybe doing a metal roof, so that may change, but outdoor patio area, carport. Inside the building, there's a divider wall so that we could potentially have two groups in there at once. We decided to go with a commercial grade kitchen. Not that we're going to be operating a restaurant in there, but we do realize that there will be caterers that come in and bring food in. So went with a nicer kitchen. In-floor heat, vinyl plank flooring. Number of other details yet to be worked out, but yeah. PowerPoint failure. Okay, I'll just keep going. So obviously this is gonna cost some money. We are going to start a 2-year public fundraising effort, capital campaign. And there, Emma. Which will entail us asking for support from private donors, businesses, the community. We're going to do obviously some grassroots fundraising. We're going to make a lot of pies. It's going to take a lot more than pies, but yeah. So our total goal for the project is $1.8 million, which is very ambitious, and we know that, but we're excited and about it. And we hope that the community will support us. Our timeline, we're hoping, again, might be optimistic, might not, break ground in '24 and begin construction, and that we might be open in '25, or might take over the building in '25, and have a community center. So we'll be around for questions if you have any, or if you know how that works, but thank you for allowing us the time. I'm sorry my PowerPoint didn't operate better than that.
Thank you for presenting.
Awesome.
Does the board have any questions for them
Later.
at this time? Not right now? Okay. We'll go to B, discussion and possible action on roofing payment for well number 1 building.
So this is part of the hail damage with security Lukey was doing for our buildings, and well 1 is completed. No problem.
Do you want these all separate? Or do you
They're-
want one motion for B, C, and D, and E?
Sure. The only thing is the Opera House has still had gutters to do with the invoice that was in the packet. That has since been completed. We have a new invoice for the additional approximately $3,000 to finish the new gutters in the Opera House.
How do these fall in with budget?
Right
Right in line?
in line with what their quotes were.
And this is all insurance minus,
Except the gutters.
yeah.
So 100% of it is insurance,
Right.
Except the
Well,
with the exception of the gutter.
yeah, basically how it works is they gave us half the money already. So at the end, we're still waiting on one more invoice, partial invoice. And then once that's paid, we submit all of those to the insurance company, they'll pay us the rest.
Okay.
So do you need a motion tonight on these payments?
Yep.
Okay. So then we would include C, the roof at the wastewater treatment plant, and D, the roof at MSC building, and E, the roof on the Opera House. And is that the total of 135, 324, 72? No,
No, that's just.
they're all separate?
No,
That's all separate.
It's just
Okay.
one.
So then we would almost have to do them.
It's
all.
easier to do it separate.
Yeah, okay.
I'll-
So
I'll
I would
make-
need first, if there's no questions, I would need first a motion on well house number 1.
I'll make a motion to approve payment of $10,913.24 to Security Lukey Roofing for well house number 1 building.
Second,
Roll call.
aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. We will go to C, discussion and possible action on roofing payment for wastewater treatment plant buildings.
Which?
I can, is that the 45, 360,
That's the
160?
Yeah.
I will make a motion to submit payment to Security Lukey Roofing for the amount of $45,361.60 for the roof at the wastewater treatment plant.
Second,
Roll call.
aye.
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 Motion carried. Okay, we'll go with D, discussion and possible action on roofing payment for MSC building.
I'll make a motion to approve payment of $135,324.72 to Security Lukey Roofing for roofing on the MSC building.
I'll second.
Roll call, Peter.
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. E, discussion and possible action on roofing payment for Opera House building.
I'll make a motion to approve the amount of $60,129.23 to Security Lukey Roofing for roofing payment for the Opera House.
Second?
Roll
Aye.
call.
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. F, discussion on ATV ordinance.
Okay, so I asked Nathan to put this on there. You know, it's been about a year now since we approved with the UTV, ATV ordinance with the date and time restrictions. It was always my intent to come back to this, and if we haven't received any reports from the police that we've had problems.
Well, we've had.
What's that?
We've had problems.
Well, we haven't received any reports that we've had problems, so it's been a year.
Right, but I haven't been asked.
Well, okay. Did you want to elaborate?
So we've probably received 15 reports since the time that the trails have opened. Most of them are either with 16-year-old children, and once we get a lot of complaints from that, we've been posting on Facebook. The other ones they're coming into town on roads that they can't come in on, so those are not open trails.
So, okay,
And then we've had, probably in the last 3 months, we've probably had 4 or 5 of them when they couldn't be on the actual trails because the trails were closed, the roads were closed.
yeah, because of the restrictions that we have.
Right.
Okay, so we've had some complaints about people driving on roads that are outside of the trails. And I think initially we all knew that there were some people that didn't quite understand all the rules for, especially the minors. I saw a few people at the first couple of weeks with kids without helmets and things like that. But I don't think we've had a significant problem. We looked at New London. New London removed their restrictions. They haven't had any problems since then. And I don't think that there's any reason to maintain the restrictions. So I would like to see us remove the date and time, the date restrictions. I don't think there's any legitimate reason why we can't have residents use them in the winter. In fact, I think they're even more useful in the winter sometimes. I would like to see people be able to take them and go to their ice fishing shack down on the lake instead of having to put them on a trailer, drive them down to Bricks, and then unload them from a trailer to be able to drive them on the lake. As well as being able to take whatever they need to the refuse and to be able to go around and plow and things like that. So I'd like to see us remove the date restrictions, so have it year-round, and I'd also like to see us remove the, I think we have 6 or 7 until 10 o'clock at night. I'd like to see us remove those. I think that is burdensome if you are trying to utilize that vehicle to travel. You can't go to Black Otter, because when you go there, you don't know if you're gonna have a 2-hour wait to get a table, and you might not get back out of there before it's closed. You can't necessarily go somewhere and utilize it without having to say, well, it's almost time, I have to go home, take this vehicle home and then get in my car and then come back out again. So I would like to see us remove those.
So Jim, this was added to the agenda, but I honestly didn't have any context to why you added it to the agenda. When did we approve this ordinance? Wasn't this like last summer sometime?
Yeah, I mean, it was,
It was
I
like
think
July.
by the time everything got through, I think it started in July or
Yeah.
so. I guess from my point of view, I would request that we table until the bypass is officially opened, and then I don't have an issue with renewing of any ordinances.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a learning curve for the folks too, to understand what, and I know that there's some things going on, maybe in Outagamie County, but I've seen ATVs, UTVs go through past that time and didn't have taillights at all. I guess it's a learning curve for everyone, and we haven't had it for a year. I'd like to make sure everyone's educated on, before we just assume everyone knows the rules. Yeah, I'm
Well, I
thinking
mean,
this
we've
was
had them
July.
open for the lion's share of a year now, so if somebody doesn't know the rules, it's just like driving in a car. If you don't know the rules and you break the rules, you can get a ticket. So, I mean, we're not talking about children here, we're talking about adults that have these vehicles parked in their garage that they can't use.
And I'm looking at.
And I don't think there's anything to do with the bypass. I don't think the bypass makes any difference whatsoever.
I talked to the ATV club in New London, and they actually advised that we bring this to the board and go ahead with it, because they said the less rules you have, the less rules you have to break. So therefore, if you have it go 365, 24/7, it's less issues than if, like they said, we've heard people want to get onto the lake. Right now, we are landlocked, but the club is working very hard with the county to get us open on county roads. And they said they're actually going to meet with the, is it called the Bartenders Association, to also meet with the county to get roads open. They have a meeting scheduled, I think, in May, and they said, I think it's wise for you to go ahead with things. Yes.
I'm Gail Haig, and I'm from the New London ATV Club. And you're asking about some of our updates, and I just would like to give you some updates. We are currently working with 7 different townships in the area here to open Outagamie County roads. And you are correct, we're going to meet with the Tavern League to see if they will help donate monies to this project, because there's a $250 permit fee for every county road that we open in Outagamie County, and we're looking at 18 roads right now. So that's like $4,500 just for that, and then it's another $150 per sign to put up a sign once it is approved. And so that'll be another $10,000. So the London ATV Club has been very aggressive in raising funds for this project. Town of Ellington on County Road M, they have it on their agenda for April 18th. And I apologize if my dates are, because I'm working with all 7 townships, but the town of Ellington already has their open hearing scheduled, because you have to do a mailing, and they've already scheduled their open hearing to open double M from Ellington to the village of Hortonville line. So that is in its process already. I'm working with town chairman for Hortonia. They don't have an ordinance yet, and we're really working diligently with them to get their ordinance, because once they get their ordinance, then we are going to go have them open County Road Double T with Hortonia. So we're working with Hortonia to get Hortonville more open area. And we're working with Deer Creek, Maple Creek, Town of Maine, Dale, we're working with the Township of Dale. Bovina has theirs already passed. So we're trying to get this unity among all these areas, and so the more that you have, the 365, the no dusk to dawn, or any of those types of requirements, the more the ATVer will know what they need to do to get from one township to another. And like you said, my biggest concern is I want to go out to Otter Creek on my UTV. I live in Larson. By the time I drive over here and I get there, could be a 2-hour wait. How do I get back?
So I have a quick question, since you're working with that, like, that county. So would the county then come up with like a county-wide, like, ordinance sort of thing? So here's my question, so coming from Larson to Hortonville, confusion, are you then driving through how many different ordinances? Like, does
Yeah.
everyone have their own rules? Or
Yes.
do you know when the county is looking at creating something?
The
I'm just
county-
wondering if we model that.
Oh,
Yeah.
the county already has their ordinance.
Okay,
The county already has their ordinance.
okay.
But they have from dusk to dawn, and it's really hard. That is worse than 6 to 10, because if you're riding in October, your dusk is earlier than it is in June or July. So it's really hard as an ATVer to say, oh, I can come here to Black Otter in July, but I can't come here in October, because I have to be off the road by dark.
But then, so I understand this correctly, so then I'm taking like double T or double M.
Shouldn't this be in a public hearing?
No.
Can
That's
this
why
be
they're
open for
here, to
discussion?
explain to us.
You can suspend the rules to
Okay.
interact.
So I guess my question is, and I'm just trying to think, like, so the county has the dusk to dawn, so if we, like, say we're not gonna do that anymore.
Right.
Technically, somebody coming from Larson or Dale or wherever, when they're driving on that county road from
If
point A
they
to
take-
us.
If they take a county road.
Yeah.
If they take a county road, but the more townships that we can get opened up, then we can go back to Outagamie County and say, let's be consistent.
When are they looking at revisiting that ordinance? Are they looking at, so I just wonder if it could be like a blanket ordinance within the county versus this
You-
piecemeal.
Every township has to have their own ordinance.
And most are the same.
Most are the same.
Other than the only restriction is the times.
I'm just trying to think of that, your typical, ATV, if you know all those different ordinances, but, somebody just wants to go from one point A to point B, it's so hard to know, well, what are the rules? Okay, so I was at Otter Creek and things took a little too long and now I've got to get back. Am I breaking the law, getting back to where I need to go?
We're trying to get it at the state level,
Yeah.
not even at the county level. We want to get it at the state level, because technically we can leave Larson, I can leave Larson, and we went up to Lakewood last November. So,
Yeah. We're isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing against ATVs and UTVs. I just try and think of that user going between all these different municipalities and it's like a zigzag, like.
yeah, and that's what we're trying to educate people, but if we can open it up more, then we can go to these other townships and get them,
But most of these other towns are 6 to 10, correct?
yeah. Well,
So-
they vary.
All right, that helps me, that helps me immensely. So
I
like-
guess in the dates, it's already open. So the only thing that staff is asking for is to delay the open season, because you're not gonna even hit another season where you are closed, and it would be 365. Basically, the bypass is gonna be done probably sometime in October, which is before we would even close the trails. So.
Why do you want to wait? You're saying staff wants to, why do you want that?
For safety reasons, that's why.
For what?
20,000 cars a day.
You have a large amount of cars, you have the
You
highway.
can't, yeah, but you can't drive on the state road anyway.
You can.
I mean,
You
Street, you
just
can, sure you can.
Not past,
Yeah.
not to where the construction is by the bypass, but you're still on the state road where there's a lot of traffic. You also have, at this point, there is no worry because you're not gonna have winter, which would potentially, my worry at the time was, and still is, potentially an accident where someone's gonna be injured because
Okay.
of the fact that these don't have the same safety ratings as
Okay,
every other
okay,
vehicle.
so let me address that all. So the majority of traffic through Hortonville is during the day. It's when when we're currently open already, right? The traffic in Hortonville, if you can walk across the street at 10 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning, and there's very little traffic
I'm not
downtown.
arguing about the time.
So,
I'm just, the only thing I was asking about was the dates, because we're already open.
yeah,
It's not gonna close again at this point. If, that's what I'm talking about, not the time. I could care less about the time. If you make it 24/7, I could care less.
okay.
My thing was more on the dates, because of the fact that I'd rather have the bypass done so it's a little more safe, so we don't potentially have an accident, which could then stifle this going forward. Because until the county actually wants to, like, join having this ATV, because I'm gonna tell you right now, a countywide ordinance, I'd be very surprised if it passed.
But if it's already open, I don't understand why you wanna wait.
Because of the fact that if there is a delay, then we can make that judgment at a later date. That's why.
I thought
That's
it
my
was
opinion.
bypass.
Granted, my opinion, it doesn't mean that you guys gotta take it at all. So, you could open it completely right now, and it's not, well, not now, but next week, or the next meeting. Because we don't have the actual ordinance right here, so, but it's up to you guys. I don't have an issue, I'm just saying, that was my opinion. which
Okay,
might
that,
not be right.
I'm just trying to understand
Right.
what your motivation is here. So,
Right, I don't,
As to
I'm
why.
just telling you
what
my
you're thinking.
opinion. My
Okay.
opinion might be very, very extreme on the safety portion, but that's just where.
I would be
I'm coming from.
interested to find out, again, it was on the agenda, Jim, we had no context. I wasn't sure where you're going with it, but I'd be interested to know, like, the different reports and the times of day. I'd be interested to know that, and then where, location-wise. Was it on more of a residential street? Was it on the state highway? You know, that's what I would be interested, is that data that you could bring to us at the next meeting. I'd like to know that data on anybody that's been pulled over.
Do you have a lot of issues that you haven't heard over all your county, or all your different townships that you have
No.
been in contact with?
And we work with Amro, we work with Winneconne, and we work with the chief of police at both places, and they have no issue. Yes, you may have an individual that may not have brake lights, but you have a car that goes down the road that doesn't have brake lights.
Exactly.
You may have, someone that's under 16 that's driving it. Well, they could be driving a car too. They're not supposed to, they know they're not supposed to. It's the education, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to educate people as to what the rules are. These are the rules. Please follow them. Yeah, please follow the rules.
I think one of our concerns is we're gonna be cut off from the world once this bypass opens. We need to do what we can do to bring people in to this village.
Well, I'm assuming that the issues that we had were nothing major, otherwise you would have brought them to us, brought it to the board? The issues that you, whatever.
died. Well, right, I mean, at what extreme do I bring?
Well, I would assume, I would have thought that the issues would have been brought forward right away when that happened, so we could have dealt with it. Maybe we had to get rid of it.
No, it's basically, it's an education. We haven't issued any citations, we're just educating. They were only open for 3 months, maybe a little bit more than 3 months, but they were open the end of July until November 15th. So, we've been just educating, we've been posting, on Facebook, things like that, just to try to let people know that they can't use these roads, they can't drive on our sidewalks, because they're driving on the sidewalks. Kids aren't wearing helmets, those types of things. 3-wheelers, we don't allow 3-wheelers in our ordinance. I don't know what the other ones allow, but if you're on a 3-wheeler coming from Larson, you can't come into the village.
Is this something we could can you bring the data to us? Can we just, so that we can make that informed decision?
Yep, absolutely.
What's everyone's thoughts? Do you want to recommend this tonight, or do we want to delay it?
I think it's fair to ask for data. I mean, I just, and if the data looks like it's just minor things, it's minor things, I mean, at least
She
look.
just said it was.
Yeah, I mean,
She told us there were 15 reports, and most of them were minor. So
No, for
what
certain.
data do you want?
We don't know for certain if it was exactly 15, and I'd like to see where those, like, where did it happen? Was this on Main Street? Was this on Cedar? Was this on, where are we having the problems? Because
Does that make a difference?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
That
too. What
doesn't
difference is it?
matter.
How does it
I
make a
mean, to
difference?
Why would
you,
it
does that
matter?
make a difference?
I think a safety.
Does it matter where it happened?
I think a safety is an issue. I live in a very different place than you live, and and I see things.
Say that again?
I live in a different place. I have a very different, my view is literally of the corner of Main and Nash. So I see different things that do happen.
You
And
live a block away.
my windows face that intersection. And I see things, and I have
So you've seen four-wheeler issues?
Yes, I have. And those issues haven't been necessarily pulled over or anything like that, but the light issue, I've seen more than once. And you don't know they're there until you hear them, but they don't have any lights. And that there's somebody in the community that's been in the village without lights. And that's an issue, and that's an education. I'm curious if they've been pulled over at all for it, for lighting.
So what if I was a motorcycle? Would that be any different?
At night,
Than
if you don't
an
have a light
ATV?
on if you don't have a light on your motorcycle at night,
I would think you'd realize it. If you don't have lights on your ATV, I would think you would realize it,
you would think.
or your vehicle.
I have
Your
nothing
car, your
against
truck.
ATVs and UTVs. I just want people safe, and I also think of pedestrians, and I think of people who can't hear but can see. And if they're out walking and they go to cross a street, and there's an ATV, UTV coming through with no lights on, and they can't hear it, that's an issue.
I'm concerned about safety all the time.
Yeah.
I'm always looking around, but I honestly don't see the difference between this and motorcycles. And between these and my Jeep Wrangler that I pull out of storage every summer. I mean, I drive, my Jeep Wrangler, I got jacked up with big tires and, it's a toy from 20 years ago when I bought it. And I still drive it all summer long, and I drive it down the roads, and it's not super loud, people aren't hearing me. I honestly don't see the difference between, except for the looking at UTVs and ATVs like there's something significantly different about them that you want to hold them back. I don't see any difference.
My point tonight, Jim, is not that my vote could very, very well go with, yes, let's change the timing.
Okay.
Next meeting. My point tonight is you put this on the agenda with no context. Were you aware that this was, aside from seeing it on the agenda? So if we would have known why you were putting it on the agenda, or if you would have said, I'm putting this on the agenda, or asked Chris to do the data, or asked for that data, I'd feel like I'm making an informed decision. But you've obviously told other people what your agenda was tonight. You didn't, I was completely unaware, and I don't like making a decision without knowing the facts. And
So-
that's all I'm asking to do.
I
So
don't
push
think
it forward.
the agenda saying discussion of ATV ordinance probably provides the notice that we would need for you to make an amendment tonight
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why we put
It should have
discuss-
probably been stated that way when Nathan put it on here,
What?
that you wanted to amend it.
action.
I didn't. He has to put it on for the
After
ordinance.
the
I
meeting.
knew what the ordinance, that he wanted to talk probably about the rules, but I didn't know to what extent you guys wanted things changed. Did you want the dates changed? Did you want the times changed? So that's why I just put discussion of ATV ordinance, so that you guys could make the discussion and then make the recommendation, and then the village board, or the village staff could then bring that ordinance that you guys are suggesting back to you guys for a vote, finalizing.
Can we even vote on this one? Because it doesn't say
No.
possible action,
No.
just
No.
a discussion.
That's-
We can't.
Right.
So I'm just wanting the data so that we
So-
can make a decision. That's all I want.
Okay, so Julie, you made your point. If she gets the data, you guys can discuss this
And
in
it
a
goes to the
future
agenda at
meeting.
the next meeting.
Yeah,
For a
right.
discussion of
Correct,
possible
and
action.
that's how it should be done. Is just give us the data, let us look at it, instead of just this random.
So move it forward.
All right, then we will move it to the next meeting.
I can bring it to you guys. Do you guys want it with the changes proposed?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, then we will go to G, discussion and possible action on resolution R-9-23 to use ARPA funds to pay for the camera system upgrades.
So this is just to fund the camera system that was approved at the last meeting, to use the ARPA funds for it. Partially because of the fact that ARPA funds have to be expensed by the end of the year of 2024 anyway. The CIP the camera system wasn't in the CIP because we didn't know the failure was gonna happen. So basically this would fund those camera systems. It'd be no different than the village, because anything else we purchase with those ARPA funds, it's gonna come out of the village funds anyway. So basically, let's say we were gonna do a road project, that the $23,000 difference is still gonna be satisfied by the village's coffers anyway. So basically, it's a transfer of funds to pay for the security system with the ARPA funds, a portion of it.
So what kind of money do we have in the ARPA fund?
So we were given $305,000 or so in 2021, and we've been collecting interest on it in our investment portfolio until the goal is to kind of keep it going until next year and then expense it all out. I'm hoping to have around $15,000 of interest generated from the investments, but
I thought we were going to put that on an agenda and discuss where we wanted to put those funds.
we did a generalized approval of multiple different things that we could put those funds for. Nothing's really been designated so far of the ARPA funds. This would be the first designation of an actual purchase.
So you have plans for the rest of it?
I have options that we're getting quotes for, that we're gonna be providing to you probably in the next 3 months or so. That's why we're using that RFP that was given to us through MSA for the Alonzo Park. And then we're getting some quotes for the downtown stuff from behind the downtown for the pathway. We're gonna see where we're at with a few other things too, and present that all to you guys so you guys can see where we are financially and where you wanna potentially put those funds going forward in the next year.
Are there any restrictions as to what these funds could be used for?
There is, but for the most part, it's not something that would bother anything. I mean, it's like relieving of debt or reducing tax levy. There's certain things like that that they're not allowed for.
Anyone have any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve R-9-23, transferring the ARPA funds into what, general fund? Is that correct?
Well, it would
To
be
go
for
towards
the,
the fund security camera.
Yeah,
it would
right.
be for
Sorry.
the security
Is there a
cameras.
fund for that?
Is it?
They're out of
Okay. Sorry. Basically, we're gonna transfer it from one investment fund to another.
Okay.
So it's just basically paying through
And the money's being used to pay $23,995 for the security camera quote from CSQ Security.
I'll second it.
Mhm.
Roll call.
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. H, discussion and possible action on contractor for electrical inspections.
So this is something that we've been kind of wanting to take on. It's basically commercial electrical inspections. Currently, Paul does the residential electrical inspections, but commercial has a different license you need. Currently, ours are done completely by the state, in which we receive nothing from the state. And sometimes it can take up to a week or so to actually get the state electrical inspector there. So this would be a contract that we would take on. The person is actually an employee of Greenville now, and he's actually the person the state used to have do our area anyway, and he took the job as the Greenville building inspector. So he came and offered us this contract, and it's in line with what we see most places. So it would generate a small amount of compensation for us, so.
So his rate's $115 an hour, plus mileage and expenses?
He
Is that
doesn't,
correct?
he doesn't have a rate for us.
What's this rate on the bottom here? Article 2, additional services. Last page.
I thought it was 90-10.
It's a 90, it should be a 90-10 split between us and them.
Article 11.
You said Article 11?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 11.
That's 11.
Bottom of page 5, or top of page 5.
I think he's saying for any additional work outside of the scope of the contract, that would be his rate at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how I understood it.
So you've reviewed this, Ashley?
Yeah, and what I like about this agreement is either party can terminate it with a month's notice. So you're not on the hook for some crazy, 5-year term with them.
So is the charge gonna remain the same or similar as if the state came in versus if we have
It would increase,
by,
because it's part of this next, so the only rate that would change would be, so if you're looking at the state statutes, 2A, which is basically the $160 is actually $250. So the minimum cost, I believe, is $250 rather than $160.
so it's a $90 increase for the convenience of, but it's only commercial.
It's only for commercial, and so I think there is some things changing too on the state side. But yeah, this is what he requested, that if we end up doing this contract, this would have to be part of it, so.
Okay. And
Yeah.
if we agree to this contract, then this is the only option they have, or they can still go to the state for,
No, this would be the option.
this would be the only option
Our
that,
employee. It would be a permit through the village.
okay.
Any other questions? If not, I would need a motion.
I think for commercial, it's worth the convenience of the $90, just for commercial picking purposes only. And if it doesn't work out, we can swap it back, so.
Yeah, but that's the burden of the owner.
Yeah, I mean, but, I'll make a motion to approve, the agreement for electrical commercial inspection services with RT Inspections LLC.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Sure.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried. Okay, we'll go to I. Discussion and possible action for resolution R-8-23, electrical permit fee.
This is just adopting the state's electrical permit fees, with the modification of the minimum permit fee being $250 from $160.
Same reasoning. Again, I'll make a motion to approve R-8-23.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried. Okay, J, discussion and possible action on CSM to combine lots 20 and 21 of the Brookwood Drive subdivision.
And I apologize, I missed this in your packet. Basically, it's a homeowner combining two lots on the corner of Brookwood, well, kind of at the, as you can see, the cul-de-sac and Brookwood Drive there. If you want, I can pull up the county GIS and kind of show you a more detailed outlay. Basically, the owner owns both lots, wants to build a house in the center, and we want to have it be a full lot rather than split parcel. So that's what this is.
Will combining this lot, or these two lots, will that increase the tax value on the land or decrease it? Or will it stay the same?
It should stay the same amount of land is
Okay.
there.
Adding a house to
Adding
it.
a house will help.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
I
I guess.
was more concerned with increase in the value or the taxing of the lot.
Any other questions? Otherwise, we would need a motion.
I'll make a motion to combine lots 20 and 21 of the Brookwood Drive subdivision.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, discussion on monthly billing for utility bills.
We're gonna skip this and put this on the next one. We weren't prepared enough, not as much as we wish we were, so, we're gonna just move this to the next one. Next
Okay.
meeting.
I'll make a motion to table or to defer this to the future meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, we'll go to I, discussion on and possible action on CIP purchase of chipper.
Yeah, I think we have to let them vote on that motion since it was
Right.
made.
The pardon?
A
Actually, I don't-
motion was made to table, and because it was made, I
We have
think
to
it has to
accept
be.
it.
Okay, is there a second?
Yes,
There
you
was.
should.
Oh, I didn't hear that, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Then we will go to, I, J, whatever it is. Okay.
Sorry.
L,
I
let's try
turned it
L.
off. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, my printer just doesn't, it's not printing well.
I think you're on.
Aaron, do you
Yeah.
want to take that?
So yeah, this came up, we went through it in the Public Works Committee. Basically, the idea is when we started looking at how much that we paid for brush removal at our site and some of the different things that the village might undertake in the future as far as maybe clean up some of the stream banks and some of the different tree trimming things that we would like to do in the future. One of the things that we'd like to purchase would be a brush chipper. It would help with the brush piles that we have at the site and also potentially offering wood chips at a future date to the village residents if they wanted to come and take some for their yards or things like that. Then we could also utilize them for some of the trails like at Alonzo, around trees, in our parks. And of the three quotes that we have here, the Vermeer, the lowest bid would do everything that we would need it for, so that, I guess that would be our recommendation.
Would these chips be free to the residents of the village?
They would, and I've worked with other municipalities where, the people in the municipality really take advantage of that and use them in their yard and things like that. It would be helping us use them up, and I think it could be something that people that are in the community may enjoy.
I know in our Public Works meeting, we talked about the payback on this. Can you explain that a little bit?
Well,
Based on what we're paying DTAC right now?
yeah, I mean, every time DTAC comes in, it's about $3,000 to haul all the brush that we have at our brush pile, community brush pile away. So that would be something that our staff would just chip up and put into a place where the community could use it, as well as the different brush that we create with some of the different cleanup options that we want to do around the community.
How often are they coming in now?
It varies, like when there was a big storm, I think it was last June, they had to come in and take everything away and then come in and take the storm debris, so that was $6,000. But it's usually once or twice a year.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in our meeting, we talked about a payback. I know there were some changes in what we had paid DTAC in the past, but you felt there would be a payback
Well,
within a 2 to 3 year period? Is that
so
correct?
if you take $6,000 a year, it'd be more like a 5-year period. But that's also utilizing the material that we wouldn't have to purchase for
Right.
trails and around trees.
But there was a higher cost 1 year because of the storms,
Yeah,
and that can happen again.
so,
But this will give you more versatility too,
What's the benefit to the community?
right?
plus the benefit to the community, and we'll be more prepared to handle storm damage when it happens.
Yeah, because when you think, when we had the tornado, it was $55,000.
Yeah,
That's horrendous.
right.
So it would be paid for in 1 year if we had a tornado.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
had one like every.
And even that storm we had last year, I mean, 13,000, that's a lot. And you can do so much cleanup around our parks and the creek and everything that,
I'll be honest, it struck me as excessive when I came in and saw what they were charging us to do that, so that's kind of how we started down this path.
and it may go up even more this year.
With
Yeah.
fuel costs and
Fuel,
everything
yeah.
else, yeah, you
So-
never know.
So you want a motion on this?
Well, I have two
Yes,
questions that I
we-
didn't think of in the meeting. One is, where are you gonna store it?
The chipper
Yeah,
at our wastewater treatment plant facilities,
okay. And the other is, what fund bucket is this gonna come out?
it would come out of our CIP.
Okay.
The offset by your OpEx
Ready?
goes.
You ready
I'm
for
ready,
second?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we purchase the Vermeer BC 1000 XL Dutes G2.9 L4 gas chipper, that's a mouthful, for $41,200 from
Vermeer.
Vermeer.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. M, discussion and possible action on sale of equipment.
So there's a list in the packet, this also came up at the Public Works Committee, and it's just part of, I think like I've explained it at past board meetings, is we're trying to go through our facilities and kind of clean everything up. And there's a bunch of stuff that we discuss with staff that either is outdated or they're not using, or isn't working properly. So we came up with this list of items that we could potentially sell to make room in our facilities for something like this chipper. And there is one other item that I'd like to add to this list. We have a list generated together to put out for bid in the community. The bids would be opened on May 2nd, and they would have to be at or above the minimum price that we've listed on this. The one other item that I would like to add would be our street sweeper that we purchased. We basically have I've calculated it at over $5,000 into this street sweeper, and we did some test runs on it in this last week, and it's just not doing its job, not picking up any of the material that it's supposed to be. I'm at the point where I think we should stop throwing money at something that is just, it's a waste of staff time and it's not doing what it's supposed to be. Maybe we can get some money back for it if we added it to this sale list.
So then you would purchase a new one?
I'm looking into grants right now to help the village purchase a new one. For this year, I think it would be subbing it out. We have one contractor that we looked at already that would be about approximately $4,000 each time it came through the village. I'd like to do it at least once in the spring to clean up all the salt and sand from winter, and at least once in the fall. We've asked him for quotes on that, and then maybe potentially during the summer, depending on what the dust is like and what kind of stuff comes down from the Highway 15 reroute,
Or if we have a storm,
or if we have a storm.
yeah.
Prior to us getting that street sweeper, who did we use in the past? We did.
The person that we're talking to again.
Oh,
So the reason we wouldn't go out and just buy a street sweeper is because they're like $320,000.
yeah.
Where the one we bought was $1,000. And it's, I think, in 94.
1994.
So, at this point, last year we stuck in that $5,000 to try to get the suction to work. So we had someone do welding on it, and it's still not working. So at this point, it's kind of
What are you looking to get out of it?
as much as we can get.
Well, we have it as it would be a silent, or a bid, like everything else.
Okay.
My idea was to put a minimum of what we paid for, it was $1,500. And hopefully somebody will want more out of it. But at this point, our staff has spent so much time working on it, and we looked at what it was actually doing, and it's not even close to what it's supposed to be doing.
Right.
I just don't feel like it's worth spending any more money trying to get this dog to work.
Has anybody been down to the plant and seen it? Yeah.
It's grown. Yeah.
And I can send you, like, this list has pictures and descriptions of it. I can send you the pictures and description
Oh,
of the street
we've all
sweeper
seen
too.
it.
Yeah, it groans every time you walk by it.
It does.
So you'd be opening up bids, May 2nd, when would bids be closing?
May 2nd.
May 2nd, just that one.
So we would close it and then read them aloud in here like we would any other kind of proposal. If it's approved tonight, I have everything set to start advertising these tomorrow.
And the committee reviewed all the other items on that? Did you
Yeah,
say?
We did.
Yeah, we did. And it
So
was
what do you
like-
want, just a head nod,
A motion. Yeah,
a motion?
we need a motion.
So before that, though, do you kind of want to explain to the folks that weren't in that meeting that we're opening it up this way versus like a municipal auction site?
Yeah, so we wanted to open it up to residents because, like Jim pointed out, the residents are the people that pay for their tax dollars. So we're gonna advertise it on our website and on Facebook, and our Facebook page, and then just have a minimum, and then people can write in with their bids, submit it anytime between once it's posted and May 2nd. We'll open the bids aloud. If we don't have any bids over a minimum, then we'll look into doing some kind of other auction with them, or to be honest with some of it, may have to be scrapped. But we're gonna try to get as much as we can for it. And then also clean out this space so that we get some of our stuff that's staying outside and any kind of new purchase actually indoors, where it should be.
So it's open for village
Yeah.
residents
Thank-
first,
yeah,
essentially,
thank you.
versus, yeah.
So we would need a motion or a head nod. Okay, so we need a motion for him to go ahead.
I'll make that motion, that you move forward to put these on the website and open up the bids for residents only.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And any other miscellaneous topics for future discussion? Nothing? We'll move to 10, report of village officials. Clerk treasurer?
Election was held, the counts were very close, excuse me, for village trustee. There will be a recount tomorrow at 10 o'clock for the village trustee office only. Other than that, my report's in.
Any questions for Jane?
Why did you change the date
Because I was misinterpreting the statute.
within a 72-hour period?
If you serve everybody the notice of the recount, it has to start the next day before 9 a.m.
Okay,
So everybody was served today,
got it.
and we thought Friday would be better than Saturday.
Agreed.
So,
Any other questions? Okay, we'll move to B, Director of Public Works. Aaron?
My report's in the packet. I guess just one thing I wanted to highlight was that we did get the village clock downtown repaired and installed. The one thing that's still left is there's some stenciling that's going to be done here in the next couple weeks to complete that project. But otherwise, the village clock downtown has been repaired and
looks nice,
Mm-hmm.
looks really nice, and it works.
And where did you hear about updates on Highway 15?
right now, most of the Highway 15 project is from the Lily of the Valley in Greenville, to kind of the outskirts of our city. That's what part of the project they're working on for the first part. And they hope to have everything completed in traffic in October, I think. So we'll have traffic going through in October.
So from, at the end of October, the eastern part of 15 will be completed, as well as the round to the next roundabout. But I don't think the section between.
No, I think it's just that first part.
Yeah, right.
from there to New London is gonna be the next, year's the final,
From out here.
yeah.
The actual bypass part.
But the
No,
bypass.
The bypass will be done at the end of '23.
Yeah.
But the part from the end of the bypass to New London should be the next year, the end of '24. Is what I was told.
And I also heard that on June 2nd, they're closing the Double J access onto Highway 15. So you won't be able to come off of Double J and heading into Hortonville and get on Highway 15. You're gonna have to
Kind of
either,
bad right now anyway.
yeah, either come on, you know, at North Road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions for Aaron? Okay, we'll go to C, Police Chief Chris.
And my report is in the packet also.
Any questions for Chris?
How'd the Easter Bunny go?
It was cold. It was cold. We had a good turnout. We had some extra time left over, so this year we went into Care Partners. That was a lot of fun, just to have the Easter bunnies see all the elderly that are in there.
I'm sure they got a kick out of it.
Hmm?
I'm sure they got a kick out of it.
Yeah, it was a little warm for the Easter bunny to be in there because some of those rooms are like
Sauna.
85, 90 degrees, but, and then we went into Gilbert's. That was a good time too, just seeing the customers in there. We had one mother that was in there and she had 3 children, but only had one in the grocery store. So she texted her husband, "You need to get in here, the Easter bunny's in here." So he loved, police officers and firefighters, so he had to have his picture taken with Officer Sweeney and, Mike and his son, so it was good.
Okay, we'll move to D, Library Director, and Ally is out. Do you have anything to add, Pat?
I covered it all in
Okay.
earlier.
And then E, Attorney Ashley.
I don't have anything for you.
Okay. F, Administrator.
Just
Nathan?
working on developers agreements and the contract for the fire department for their service award program for Hortonia with the attorney, and then just a plethora of different things here and there, whether it's wild winds monitoring, looking at some stormwater issues and complaints, so stuff like that.
Any questions for Nathan? Okay. We'll move to G, Building Permit Report. The March report is in the packet. 11, Communications and Miscellaneous Business. A, Black Otter Lake District News. Pat?
Cleanup is May 6th for the lake. You sign up on fwwa.org. I just checked it today. There's still 6 spots available. I think they limit it to 20. So I think that's, good. We have 14 people signed up. Our next meeting is April 26th at 6 o'clock here.
Any questions for Pat?
Can you talk to me after the scouts wanna,
For me?
can you talk to me after the Boy Scouts wanna participate, and they're gonna have a bigger than.
How many?
It's probably more than 6 people.
Okay.
They were trying to schedule their own event, and they contacted Sean, and Sean said, well, we're gonna do an event this day. So,
You know what I could do too? I could email you the name of the woman who's leading it.
okay,
And maybe you could coordinate with her, because 2 years ago, we had enough people, and it wasn't nice enough weather to get out on the lake, so they covered the park, the creek behind Main Street and Memorial Park, so that would be a possibility too.
okay.
Okay, we'll move to B, Hortonville, Hortonia Fire District News. Jim?
I think we have a meeting coming up here this next Wednesday.
This coming
This
Wednesday?
coming Wednesday.
Really?
One of those
Okay.
times.
C, Gold Cross Ambulance Run Report and News. There is none. D, Hortonville Civic Association. Peter?
We moved the Easter egg hunt to Saturday the 15th because tomorrow night it's supposed to snow and rain. It would be hard to hide eggs in 2 or 3 inches of snow.
Are you
No, it'd be easy to hike them.
Yeah, right.
We'll find them for a while.
You know,
Find them.
yeah, it'd be-
Hand out
it would be-
shovels.
Okay, you got a point there. We're not gonna do it. And then it's supposed to rain too, so snow is supposed to turn over to rain early morning Saturday. It's supposed to be miserable all day, it'd be rough for the kids. So we moved it to Saturday the 15th, same time. And I want to thank Pat Lundmo for her efforts in getting Care Partners and, what's the other group?
Senior activities.
Senior Activities. We stuffed 1,000 eggs on Monday,
Mhm.
and we did another 1,000 on Wednesday. So we have everything ready to go. We have all the bikes purchased, 14 bikes and other prizes and stuff. We just have to postpone it. I don't want the kids out there when it's really rough, bad weather.
On the 15th, let me know.
Oh, I'll put you down.
I'm excited to hear that because I was talking to a couple of friends, everyone's gonna be out of town. We were wishing that we could bring our kiddos.
You're gonna be out the 15th?
Yeah, I'll come out.
Okay, then we'll change it to the 22nd.
I'm free then too.
No
My
snow
social
shovel.
calendar is wide open.
Oh, the 4th of July.
It's a big event, let me tell you. Last year, we had no idea it was our first year, and we had over probably 1,000 people. And there were 647 kids that registered. We had a good time. And we had bounce houses, and we had the Easter Bunny there. We had face painting, we had snacks for them, so it was a real big turnout, big event.
How are you gonna publicize the date change?
We already did.
Okay, is it on the village website?
We went to Facebook and the Hortonville Civic Association, we pinned it to the top, and we notified, we took all the flyers down and everything, and tomorrow we're gonna put up new ones, so.
Good.
And Jim volunteered to sit out in front of the park all day Saturday
Just say
morning
next weekend, next weekend, next weekend.
with his truck, just
Okay.
telling everybody it's been postponed.
That was an obligation already.
Perfect.
You up to that?
You know, there are gonna be people that are gonna show up, regardless of the weather, but they're gonna see the park is empty. Then they're gonna be those people sitting at home saying, we're not gonna go because of, you know, the weather, so it's bound to happen.
That's what you
Can't
have.
help it.
All right, we will go to E, Senior Activities Committee. Pat?
We had a meeting last Thursday. We're inviting outside agencies on a quarterly basis now. So we had Fox Valley Memory Project, Care Partners, and Advanced Planning Coalition attended. So we got updates from all of them. Monday, we had our potluck. Like Peter mentioned, we had it at Pinewood because of the elections and did the eggs there. Then Wednesday at Care Partners. On Monday, the 17th, for our birthday party, we're coordinating with the library to play bingo, because that always is a big success. The meal site numbers are up. Autumn Fest is in the planning stages, and we have received $300 in cash for sponsorships this year, which is really, we sent out sponsorship letters, so that's something new that we're excited about getting that. Our next meeting is April 20th at noon.
Any questions for Pat?
Just so make a mention that Care Partners, with that music there, those people were having a good time.
Yeah, we stuffed eggs to music. That
Yeah,
was kind of fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah,
And
and
that-
some of the residents got involved too,
Yeah,
which was nice.
some of them, some of the older ones did. Thank you for your efforts.
You're welcome. It was fun.
Okay, we'll go to 12, comments and suggestions from citizens present. Yes,
I just have one question. What time is the recount tomorrow?
10 a.m.
Thank you.
any other questions? Okay, I just want to thank you all for attending our meeting and for your presentations. 13, motion to appoint minute taker for closed session. I would like to make a motion to appoint Shauna. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Shauna?
Motion carried. Okay, we would go to 14, motion to go into closed session.
Julie?
I was hoping Peter would do it one last time. Board to go into, I make a motion for the board to go into closed session under state statute 19.851C considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. 15, we would have a 5-minute recess to clear the meeting room.
Remove myself for a drink.
17, any action on matters discussed in closed session? There is none. 18, I would need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. On behalf of
Second.
Peter.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are now adjourned.